You don't need to go to Panda Express for great orange chicken. I'm gonna show you how to make it at home in the easiest, most delicious way possible. I'll want some rice with my orange chicken, so as a first step, let's start some rice that'll just go in the background while we cook the orange chicken. I'll add my rice, then cover it up with water. I'll use my finger to measure the amount of water I need, and then we'll start our rice maker. While our rice cooks, let's work on our chicken. I always cut raw meat on its own cutting board. That way you can throw it in the dishwasher after and not ruin your bigger one. So for this, we're just gonna wanna cut our chicken into nice bite-sized pieces. If you've ever had orange chicken, you probably have a good sense of exactly what size those bites should be. Each chunk should look something like this. As a note, I'm using chicken thighs instead of chicken breasts because it'll have more flavor and be more tender. In general, do your best to make sure that every chunk is about the same size, as that'll be the best way to cook all that chicken evenly. If there's any extra large pieces of fat like this, I'll also sometimes trim that off. Nice thing now is I can just remove this whole board and it's clean. To prepare our chicken for cooking, into this bowl I'll add some flour, then some cornstarch, and a nice big pinch of salt. This is our dry dredge, which I'll keep super simple and give it a quick whisk. Into our wet dredge, I'll add 1 egg, a splash of vegetable oil, an optional tiny pinch of MSG, just to give an extra bit of umami, pinch of salt, and I'll whisk this up until evenly combined, add in my diced chicken, and give it a nice massage to fully coat it. Now, while we let this sit for just a moment, I will fill up my fry pan with some oil. We're gonna wanna heat this to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so while that heats up, I will move back over here, and then we can start dredging. I like to use one hand for my wet dredge and one hand for my dry dredge. So I'll take each piece out, move it over, then with my other hand, I'll really get in there, fully coat that chicken, and even squeeze. What that does is really make sure every bit of the chicken is coated, but it also helps to get some of those extra craggly, crispy bits when you go to fry it. And once each piece is done, I'll move it onto a sheet tray fitted with a wire rack. The wire rack makes sure that nothing gets soggy. Don't put too many pieces in at a time, because things can start to get really messy that way. And then with every piece of chicken, make sure to also shake off all that excess flour. You don't want too much hanging on there. Believe it or not, in all the different recipes I've made in my life, orange chicken has always been one of the most difficult ones to get right, because we all have this idea in our minds of what it should taste like. So when you try to make it at home and it doesn't have that same super sweet honey-like taste and glaze, something about it just tastes so wrong. So what's really nice about this recipe is that it gives you that best of both worlds where it tastes homemade, but it's not overly sweet like you're eating some kind of dessert chicken. By the time we finish dredging, our oil should be close to that 350 Fahrenheit mark. If it's somewhere around there, you should be good. To fry, it's always a good move to test one out first, make sure everything's looking good. And depending on how much oil you're frying with, fry your chicken in batches. Don't do it all at once. While it's frying, monitor the temperature. You may need to crank up the heat a little bit once the temperature drops after you add in your chicken. Soon after you add it, also make sure to move it around, make sure nothing's stuck together. You'll want to fry your chicken until it's light golden brown, probably about 4 to 5 minutes. Once they're beautiful golden brown, shake off that excess oil and place them on another sheet tray lined with a wire rack. I always like to make sure that every bite of chicken is crispy, so I space them out to make sure nothing is touching. That way we get no soggy bites at all. When I fry, I like to slowly drop each piece of chicken in like this. It'll help ease your chicken into that frying oil instead of plunging it straight in, from cold to very hot. If you're cooking at home, you also don't need this much oil. I'm putting extra oil so you can see it really easily, and because I fry things a lot, so I can use this oil again. While we wait for our other chicken to finish, I'll just show you how crispy this is. Our chicken's done, so I'll place it all on my sheet tray and hit it right away with a pinch of salt. That way it sticks to the oil that's still remaining on the chicken. Best song ever. Our rice is done. Perfect timing because all we have left to do is our sauce. The sauce is easy. We need 1 clove of garlic, then a peeled chunk of ginger. Some people say ginger is easier to peel with a spoon. I like to use a peeler. And we'll mince up the ginger and garlic together. These are 2 of the classic ingredients in an orange chicken, but I feel like you sort of lose their flavor in a fast food orange chicken, which is part of the reason I love this recipe so much. Into a pan, I'll add a splash of oil, then our garlic and ginger, as well as a few red pepper flakes. Stir this over medium heat for a few minutes until it's nice and fragrant, and once everything's smelling good and delicious, go ahead and pour in some orange or tangerine juice. Tangerine if you want to be fancy. Use a wooden spoon to scrape all those nice crispy bits off the bottom of your pan. Then add in some light brown sugar, a touch of white pepper, rice vinegar, and then the zest of a whole orange. That's where you get the real orange flavor. A pinch of salt, 1 more optional sprinkle of MSG, and then with some cornstarch and hot water, I'll make a little cornstarch slurry and add that to my sauce. This will thicken everything up. Once you add that cornstarch, be ready for it to thicken fast, right in front of your eyes. All you have to do to activate that thickener is add a little bit of heat, and it should get a sticky, almost syrup-like consistency. Turn down your heat, add in your chicken, work quickly now, and toss. For plating, I like to keep it simple. Drop down some white rice, you can season it however you want, and add your crispy, silky orange chicken. With most recipes, the orange chicken stops being crispy after you put the sauce on, but with this one, you're still gonna get that crunch in every bite. Finish it off with some extra orange zest, a sprinkle of green onions. Listen to this crunch. Take that, Panda Express.